Sci-Fi. Hey everybody, welcome to Real Life Sci-Fi with Wade and Willie. I'm Wade.
I'm Willie.
This is a podcast about the paranormal and contemporary mythology. Join us on patreon.com/reallifesci-fi for access to 2 bonus episodes a week, video feeds, and more. And visit RealLifeSciFi.show for all of our links. If you have a topic or guest you'd like to shoot at us, send it to WadeandWilly@gmail.com. Let's welcome aboard the SSRLSF. He's a musician. You can find his work on CroomMusic.com or Croom Music on the socials. Our friend Adrian Croom, what's up?
What's up, y'all? What's up, Willie? What's up, Wade?
What up,
How's it going, man?
Thanks for bringing me on the ship.
Welcome aboard. And we hope that you don't take too many rations because we have to save them.
We got a long journey, not a lot of supplies.
Just like I mentioned, it's like a conspiracy kind of podcast. Are you very into that world? Do you like read up on like aliens and Bigfoots and stuff?
I'm from Austin, Texas, so it's kind of a conspiracy land, I guess. But I have a lot of friends that are way into it. So I have a lot of conversations about the stuff. I wouldn't say I'm like a know-it-all of any sort in that world.
Is it a curiosity to you? Do you even know about this stuff, or you just kind of gleam it through what
I mean, I pay attention to some things, but I like just thinking of aliens in general, that there's definitely some alien life out there. I don't think that's too crazy to believe. You know, conspiracy is kind of like, well, somebody believes in it, but we're waiting for some like evidence, right? So we don't know.
Right. Are you from Austin originally, and now you're living there as well?
Yeah, I'm from Austin. I've only lived in a couple other places. I went to school with you guys in Colorado State. Got my bachelor's. So that would have been like 99 to 2003. I was in Fort Collins, and then I worked on a film in New York. So I lived kind of like, I wouldn't say I lived there. You have to be careful saying you lived in New York when I was like living on people's couches and working on, I was working out there, but it was on a film. That's kind of it. And then I came back to Austin both times. College.
I wanted to ask about, like, do you know what the mothership is?
Yeah.
So Joe Rogan moves out to Austin. He convinces all of his bro friends to go with him. Have you been a part of that scene at all? Like
no, I kind of like, I know he lives here, and I don't follow his show really, so I don't know a lot about his show, but I don't really know the comedy scene, I guess, either.
Has it changed? It just feels like Austin's changed, right? Like it's sold out or something?
Oh, yeah, big time. I mean, I think of it like as a town growing up here.
Right.
I don't know how many people really lived here in the 90s, and I was born in the 80s, so I don't know how many people lived here, but it was the fastest growing American city for a while, like years in a row that I kept seeing that. And then I kind of saw how it changed. Like still, it's unreal how much development there is still going on.
When you were a kid, did they shut down downtown? Cars from driving down there?
Oh yeah, that actually went 6th Street was shut down till like a year ago or 2 years ago, and they finally reopened it to cars. That's what's new. I think because it was having a lot of crime issues, and they wanted to have the cars coming back down there to just not let everybody gather, like kind of like Bourbon Street.
What is that, Willie? You're just bragging that you know that there's a street that they didn't...
No, like picture Fort Collins downtown, which is so, pretty cool. But if they closed off like 3 different streets so that like you could just hang out across the street, just a big mix of, because there were enough people supporting all of downtown that like they had a great scene.
Man, I just love Fort Collins, and thinking of fall, like the season of fall, because we're getting ready to move into October. I just like the Oval, the downtown area. I haven't been there in a long time, but wow, I miss Fort Collins.
I've driven through it because I am from Loveland, so I've been back, but like there's really no reason to go to Fort Collins, especially there's no reason to go to the campus. So I've driven by and I've seen the stadium and stuff, but like I haven't walked around on campus since I left. I imagine I wouldn't even recognize it at this point.
Yeah, dude, for reals.
I haven't been to the stadium yet, the on-campus stadium.
Dude, I just want to go there because it's one of the few college stadiums where you can drink.
Yeah, that's what we were known for back then.
This is the best.
I went back 10 years ago for some CSU audio video. They were doing some alumni awards and stuff, and I spoke at a couple classes and stuff.
That's awesome.
And dude, their media center was, I'm saying, like, they had a lot of money, whole basement floor of
Do you think do they have like a RTF department? Because that's like the main thing I was trying to study when I was there, and it's like you had to go through communications and like,
yeah, dude. I mean, like, I was like, oh, in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, I'd love to come back here and teach, especially with all this shit.
Yep. Technology and education's insane now, because that's kind of a big part of what I'm doing. I'm teaching high school career technology. So I'm teaching audio video, also teaching audio, like digital audio classes, but think of the audio video classes being kind of like filmmaking. So it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting my master's right now from Berkeley College of Music, and it's online. So I'm teaching in Austin, taking the classes online. One of my classes was an architecture class. So just imagine how Berkeley is, or how it's known, right? Think of it as like a studio design. You're going to design your dream studio. Well, this was taught by an architect who went to Princeton, John Stork, who is super famous and had designed Electric Lady Studios in New York. He built Jimi Hendrix's first studio that turned into, because he died a year later, turned into a public studio.
Okay, well, if you've got any free passwords, I've been pirating everything, which means that the computer I have to use is like really slow. Well, let's get back to conspiracy stuff. Let's do the WOW scale.
Wow scale.
We do something on the show called the WOW scale. It stands for Wade or Willie. It's a 5-question quiz. At the end of the 5 questions, I'll give you a score anywhere between 0 and 5. If you're more of a 0, you're more of a Wade. If you're more of a 5, you're more of a Willie. Are you ready to be Wade on the WOW scale?
I'm ready.
First question, 3-parter. You already addressed it a little bit, but feel free to be as in-depth or shallow as you want. Do you believe in aliens? If so, have they visited Earth? If so, have they visited Earth in the last 300 years?
Yes. I think they're living in the ocean. So yeah, they're here.
Yeah.
Currently.
Okay. I know about the ocean stuff. I think we're going to get into it with the topic. So I'll stop you there, and we'll move on to question number 2. Ghosts.
Yes.
Do you have any ghost stories?
I feel like I just have one, like a photo that I thought like grandmother who's deceased was like in the photo, but it was at my parents moved into their house, and then it was weird, but I felt like, I don't know if it was the light or whatever, but I thought she was in the photo, and I still think that. So that's really the only thing I can remember.
Because she would have been dead at the time?
Exactly, but it was a birthday too. It was like my niece's birthday. It was strange, but I showed it to my sister, and she's like, "Whoa!" Like,
is it definitely
crazy.
her? What if it's just your mom got dehydrated or something?
Well, no, it looks like her, and it's like light. It's like, who knows? It could just be the crazy light. Like it could have been somebody's reflection or something. I don't know, right? But it's like a human form looking, but very eerie, and like the opacity is very, like, you know.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Speaking of After Effects. Okay, question 3, Bigfoot.
Oh, I'm one of those people who's like, man, if there's been dinosaurs and we have the bones, like, why not there be everything? That doesn't really shock me if there's Bigfoot out there. It's not that crazy to think that there could be, but I don't know. It feels like that one's like a big hoax where people can kind of like, either there's just like a big dude or whatever can pull it off, or people are just playing into it too easily.
Yeah. All right. So no for that. Was 9/11 an inside job?
Oof. That one's kind of crazy because I did the music for the conspiracy of 9/11 film. It was a documentary called The Truther, made by a documentary guy from New York.
Wow, dude.
I don't know. I don't know is my answer on that. I don't think so. Just because I like to, on some of the really serious conspiracy things, or it's involving, like, think of like the Las Vegas one where everybody was saying the bullets are coming from different angles of the building, the shooting.
Yeah.
I try to stay out of thinking there's conspiracies on where lots of people are dying, just because for the sake of the families, and it's like, man, I don't know. So
I know it's hard to talk about because, like, as soon as you start bringing up stuff, well, that's not true, and my uncle's dead. And
yeah, people get heated, and it hurts some people. I try not to, like, I don't want to make anybody feel bad, and like, especially they lost their family members. Obviously, I've heard a lot of the stuff about that one building, right?
Building 7.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard all of it, but I have people that 100% think, yeah, it's conspiracy. But I mean, there's a lot of crazy stuff that happened in one day.
All right, so we'll go no on that. Last question: the multiverse. Do you believe that the multiverse could exist?
I'm gonna go no, but that's kind of too hard. My mind can't go that far to understand it.
Okay, we'll go no on that one. So that means you are like a 2.
It's funny because you're like an opposite 2.
I'm like, go aliens, no, go aliens, no, no multiverse.
Everybody seems to be like a 2 or a 3. It's kind of, I don't know. It's interesting. Nobody believes in Bigfoot. We should just remove Bigfoot. Nobody believes in Bigfoot.
But when we do get one, man, it's pretty awesome.
I mean,
I know, but most people don't.
Willie, hit us with the topic.
Tonight on Real Life Sci-Fi, a UAP shot with a missile. The latest UAP congressional hearing showed this video of an orb-like craft getting hit by a missile and appeared to bounce off the object, continued on its pathway, seemingly unharmed. We're going to watch that. Join us as we talk about this and what these UAP congressional meetings mean to us and how our near future might be changing tonight on Real Life Sci-Fi.
So, Adrian, did you see this video before Willie brought up the topic?
I actually haven't, and it's funny. Willie's going to probably be mad at me, but I was fascinated by the UAP hearings of November last year.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was one September 9th. Recently, when I was like, oh man, I need to refresh myself before the show because it was so long ago, but I was way into the UAP hearings of November last year.
What was the big thing in November? Was there a big?
So, like, the main point of what I remember it being was they wanted a declassification of information. They want all these files that the government has. They think that it should be a law, or it's the rights of civilians and pilots because it's invading airspace. So they think that's what they're using. It's like, it's going to actually hurt people. So y'all need to declassify this information.
Yeah, 2023 was basically, yes, we've recovered crafts and non-human biologics. 2024 was, even with this, they're collecting the UAP threat, whatever, the group that's collecting all the information on the stuff, not sharing any of it. And people have been trying to declassify all the present ones since they started the task force and all the past ones. So like, you guys aren't showing us anything. We're actually on record spending money on you now. And this last one was basically like a couple of whistleblowers came through, not with firsthand knowledge, but that they were aware of these programs that were reverse engineer UFO crafts. So people were coming forward saying, like, we know of these programs. They weren't firsthand people that worked on them, but I've seen whistleblowers talk about that too. And then also, of course, they had this video of this orb that got hit by a missile. So we might as well start with that and play that.
Let's play that.
It's pretty nutso. And I mean, it is straight up paranormal.
But this is in Turkey or Hungary or something?
Yemen. Where's Yemen? That's near Turkey.
When did this happen?
2024 is when this video happened.
If you haven't seen it, I can't imagine you haven't seen it. If you're
I probably did.
This show. No, I'm saying to our listeners, you probably haven't seen it, but I'm sure most of our listeners have. It's an orb that gets hit with a Hellfire missile. I don't know anything about what a Hellfire missile
What
does.
the fuck, dude?
I saw a couple things that were directly things that I researched right after that UAP hearing last year in November. And one of them was like, God, I really didn't show it, but one of them was a video of like somebody flying,
Oh, the TikTok one. Yeah, you're talking about the TikTok one where it's like a camera that's on the fighter pilot's jet or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's following like a Tic Tac looking thing.
Yeah, well, in one of them, he saw the video, and I think it could be this one. The pilot was like, I saw the video, but that does no justice. You don't know what it's like when you look up and it was a fleet, he said. Like he's staring at a fleet. He said, there's no way to do justice what I saw. He said it was the scariest thing he's ever seen in his life.
And that one, from some of the stuff I've been reading, people are saying that Tic Tac was actually ours. It was a reverse engineered craft run by, but whatever. Everything, it's all speculation until it's proven. Let me share this video.
So it was in Yemen, but it was the U.S. doing it. The Hellfire is a U.S. missile.
So this thing's pretty high speed. I don't think you can really tell how fast it's going from this video. From the left upper comes the Hellfire missile. And look at how slow that missile's going.
Mm.
And then there are three things that when they slow this down, these three things, I don't know if I'll have to find another video for that, but people have slowed this down frame by frame. But the three pieces that break off end up being identical. And they're still flying with the object. Here we are again. The missile's flying, the orb. This is not a slow motion one. It's just a different. So it doesn't change speed.
Yeah, I will say it doesn't make any sense for it staying the same speed. Because I was like, if it was a depth thing and there's like, it was falling and it just looked symmetrical because of the way it was falling, but why would it maintain the same speed?
And here's another thing too. This missile, there's no such thing as a slow missile. So this thing is actually way faster than you think. Watch how slow this missile comes in. So if that's a missile that was able to turn to hit it last minute, I mean, it's just so fast. Here's the thing again. They're still trying to.
What's this angle?
So this is it zoomed out after it got hit, and it's still flying around, moving. The pieces are still, a couple of pieces were still falling.
I know this was in the September 9th, I was hearing that one of the panelists was saying that, or maybe even from 2024, I think it was the person who was the writer, the journalist, because they had a really good panel in 2024 on UAPs. They had a journalist who was maybe the least interesting of them, but they had a former NASA person, Michael Gold, former Department of Defense, and they had a retired U.S. Navy. I think he was in control of like radio for the Navy, all radio. But that last one, I brought his name up, or like I said, I could be mixing it up with 2024. But they say the footage now is incredible. They're saying they have footage that's being held out that's like high definition. It's unreal. And that's a big part of all this is the video. Like we're looking at something. It's not that that's not high definition, but it's kind of hard to see what's going on. And they're saying they have stuff that's like crystal clear because video
and that
technology's there.
The whole thing about the Tic Tac is they showed the Tic Tac and the go fast UAP orb flying around. And then you hear the claims of the pilots and that witnessed them and the air traffic controllers that were watching the radar talking about the things that this thing were doing, like stopping and turning left and right. They had video of that too, but they didn't show us that. They showed us the stuff that's just like, oh, look, this is something easily you can write this off, And here's the thing. Anytime there's a whistleblower, even at these congressional hearings, this is all national security stuff. This is all top secret. So even a whistleblower that goes in front of Congress needs to have all of their stuff approved. So it's crazy to think that these are all approved.
Play the chat. Play the one I put in the chat.
I think it's Elizondo. Is that his name?
Yeah, Luis Elizondo. He was in charge of the program that was.
Yeah, what's that program called? Isn't that where he works now?
It was ATEP.
It was like they were building stuff for the government, right?
They were, let's see, let me look it up real quick. AATIP. Yeah. The Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. So it was basically the new version of Project Blue Book, but with new technology.
Yeah, and he kind of thinks this whole thing is a race for arms, who can use this technology, weaponize this technology is like what's going on.
Well, let's watch this video again, and then I'll get into my spiel about what I think about him and what's going on with this shit. October 30th, 2024. Okay, here it comes. Yeah, there's three. So yeah, then it zooms out. So the missile, the craft that shot the missile is the same kind of craft that is tracking this. So there's two of these tracking this thing. I like seeing the black one and I mean, these three things are just flying with it. They don't fly off or fly away. And then in this video, when they zoom out, you can still see reflections of the things still following with it.
So this was released.
So it's also turning with it and stuff.
This was released late October 2024.
This happened in 2024, and it just got released this last hearing, September 9th.
Oh, okay. So it was released recently.
Yeah. So that's the new video that they're showing right now.
Man, because like a lot of these hearings too are bipartisan. You got represent.
Yeah,
they're all having a good time. They're all having a good time on the panel, right?
Yeah.
They're all wanting the information to be released so they know more, but it seems strategic of that timing of the UAP hearing. I'm sure they had it set up well before, but it was like right after the elections, which is pretty insane elections, and then they're trying to be like, okay, let's now have a bipartisan thing where it's about aliens.
Yeah, along with what you're saying, I agree, man. This is really, they could be doing this anytime, and they always coincide with just shit to look away from.
I like it though. Like I said, when I was watching, I was actually purely interested. Yeah, fascinated actually. I got so into it, and then I think I watched it like a couple times, that one hearing, and then I talked to my cousin who's way into this stuff and loves like Star Trek and Star Wars and everything, and his dad worked studying outer space for SMU, the university. Working for the Navy, he kind of like, you never know because he's coming from a military side of things, but he told me this when I was fascinated by everything. He said, as much as I want to believe everything that's going on, he thinks it's just technology's gotten there and these are spy ships. All this is like, China's created this craft. This country's already has that technology. They have it. It's all spy drones everywhere. He thinks the technology's there.
Have you heard of Nightingale?
Is that like
Nightingale is this material that they have that when you crinkle it up, it pops back into its original shape. And that was the claim that was made after Roswell, that all of this metallic material, you could wrinkle it up and it would pop back into shape. So Nightingale is one of these things that one of these presidents or one of these MUFONs, because there's a whole bunch of MUFONs. I don't know if it's the main, but he's like, look, Nightingale kind of like paves the path to this shit being reverse engineered because we didn't have this stuff before. If you look at the history of this product, it comes from the 1950s from naval research. And then he dug a little deeper and found that this actually came from the 40s from this company that was hired by Wright-Patterson Air Force Base to research exotic materials. And that's supposedly where the recovered crash from Roswell went. So, same time they found this craft is when they invented this metal that has the same properties as what they claimed the Roswell crash.
Yeah, I drove through Roswell this summer. I love it, that town.
Did you get some jerky?
I always I feel like it's always raining when I'm going through there to just add to the fun. But no, I go out to New Mexico, so I'm driving. Well, it's in New Mexico, but I go to Ruidoso, so that's where I was headed to work on music. And it was just cutting through, but I take a lot of photos, film some like while I'm driving. I'm filming, so I got some good footage. If I can dig it up, I'll throw it to you. Put
Yeah,
in this
dude. I
episode.
mean, I believe that half the stuff we see is military. I believe they have reverse engineered stuff. If they were to ever to say, yes, we recovered a craft and we built some tech based off of this, like, what do you say to your military knowing that they did that? Well, shit, man. Like, it's not even military. It's private contract companies like, Northrop Grumman and
I mean, so we know like back in the day at some point, people were being flown out to Area 51, right, putting sacks on their heads,
yeah,
right? That's like a photo. It's not like a fake thing. It's like a real thing, right? And
Right.
people had to go and do jobs where they just didn't really know. It was all departmentalized, right? And
yeah.
nobody really knew what they were doing or could talk
What was the
about it.
show? Inside Edition? There somebody secretly got to the place where the bus picked him up to go to the plane. Did you watch
Mhm.
that back in the
Well,
day?
I didn't see that, but I know that, right? It was a bus that would take them and they put the sacks on, or they already had it on their head, right? Or you're saying it's the bus that would come and get them from the plane?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man, that's wild. And I definitely know they've been studying, they've been putting a lot of money into research there, and it can't just be, oh, we're testing our bombs out, right? Like,
Right, yeah.
or if they are testing bombs out, they got some new materials to play with, foreign materials from Earth, foreign from Earth.
I mean, I don't know what this is. I just don't know that there's a man-made thing that can just like take a missile
Oh, I don't think
and
this one's man-made.
bounce
I'm
off.
saying the Tic Tac from the first congressional hearing. I think that was man-made. This one, yeah, dude. When that missile hits it, those three things that break off, and this might be some camera reflection thing, but the three things look identical, and they continue flying with it, which is just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things I've heard about this. One, there was this old guy on 4chan, and like fucking, why do people put shit on 4chan? Because it's like, you know that it's made up the second that it's on 4chan, right? But then people always go back and look at shit on 4chan and go like, this is what he's talking about. There's this guy on 4chan that was talking about these hammer-shaped objects that would like come off of UFOs. I think as like sort of like threat, like oh, if we're under attack, these things like deploy, and then I don't know what they do after that, but he was talking about this on 4chan like years ago or whatever, and then this video comes out.
Yeah, they do have a weird hammer shape, sort of. Yeah.
Well, it's hard to say because if they're like spinning or whatever, they would just look like an orb, right?
Yeah. Uh huh.
So some people are saying that. Some people are saying like, because Adrian, you were saying you think they're in the ocean. Were you talking about like when we had those drones and there was that thing that people said like the drones would come out of the ocean, but then they would change shapes and shit?
I
Is that
mean,
what
I
you're
think
referencing?
it's the
Timothy Oliphant, and he's a national treasure.
the retired Navy guy, Timothy Gallaudet, I'm probably saying his name wrong. Gallaudet. But that guy definitely says he's seen crafts come out of the water.
Yeah.
But again, like I'm fascinated. I think part of it for me is I've had a lot of, you could say nightmares, but I think of them, I guess, like dreams because I'm fascinated by it, right? But I've had a lot of dreams and nightmares where aliens are coming from, like even, you have a lot of dreams from like where you grew up at, like your original place that you grew up in. Well, I have those dreams, but they're coming from the ground and like tunnels, not from the ocean, but tunnels under the ground. And then, yeah, there's a whole fascination of people who think they're coming from the ocean. And he talks about it though. He says he's seen it in that 2024 UAP.
Yeah.
They speak on that. It's a segment of it where they're talking about UAPs coming from the water.
The problem with it being underwater is it's like, I mean, the problem with all of this is it's you could always just say, oh, that's some other government that is
Well,
like,
that's what my cousin would tell me as soon as I was telling me. He's like, "What's a spy? It's a spy. It's
right.
technology that can do that. It's like it is swimming through the water and it's flying up into the air, and it is a spy drone."
If they're that prevalent, it feels like we would just have better footage or something. Like, I don't know. It's like, I guess my point is, what would be the point of keeping it secret once the other governments knew about it? You know what I mean? Like, what? Why, if let's say it's Chinese, why would the U.S. government not be like, "Oh, this is Chinese"?
There's a chance, right, that the governments could all be keeping it from civilians, that they know about it. I mean, who
If
knows?
it were if it were aliens, I could see that. But if it's all reverse engineered spy shit, then you'd be like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, the China." I mean, I they probably don't tell us shit, but like, it just seems weird to be like, we don't know what this is if they know that it's a spy thing, you know?
Right. And then like there's a balloon, like, oh, we know this is Chinese. I'm like, you do?
Right. So but it's just interesting that these three things came off of this guy because, just when those drones were happening earlier this year over like Jersey and shit, a lot of people like had video of them, like they looked like they were shape shifting like fucking transformers,
Yeah.
And
I took a lot of video of what I thought I was seeing drones, but again, maybe I was watching all this stuff and consuming it and losing my mind and seeing planes that I thought were drones. Who knows? But I definitely took some video that I was like, that doesn't make any sense. And it was all around the same time period.
I just can't imagine, even with reverse engineering, being able to make something fly around and change shapes.
Yeah.
I just like, we can barely figure out helicopters.
I mean, I saw for sure, and I take photos of this stuff, so I don't have to dig through it, but I saw for sure a ship, a plane. I guess it looked like a plane, right? Because it was far away, but it was just sitting there. It wasn't a star. It wasn't like, I mean, this was a vehicle in the air and it was not moving, which is the craziest because you don't hear a lot of people say that when they're talking. They're like, "Oh, it's doing these crazy
Yeah.
directional patterns." Insane. I'm like, "What?" I think I see one where it's not even moving; it's just there hovering.
But how far away was it? It was like the size
It
of a
was
star.
it was far enough away to where if I were to like show you all the photo and dig it up, it's nothing that people would be fascinated with because they're like, "Oh, it's so far away."
But why were you fascinated with it? What was different about it?
I guess because it was in my parents' backyard and I know the location, so I know it was like I know nothing's right hanging out right there.
But how was it not a star?
Well, that's what I was trying to make sure, and then it was gone. And my
Oh,
sister
it
saw it
disappeared.
too. Yeah, it just took off and was gone. And my sister saw it, and I was like, "I told you," and I've been like putting all this drone stuff in her ear, and then she believes it. After she saw it, she was a believer. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what that is, but that
Well,
freaky.
where do you land? Do you think that do you
I,
think these things are alien, or do you
I
think they're
think,
foreign
yeah,
governments?
I think it could be a combination of both because I do think if they are aliens, then how do we know the governments they haven't wrecked or everything we're talking about, and the governments have gotten their technology and started building things and now using that as spy. I think it could be a combination of all of it.
Here's a third theory that I heard about this. It's not a ship at all. It's just a bunch of like aliens flying around together, like energy. They're just like energy beings, so they kind of just will form like.
Like
mean,
a
I don't
school
know
of
how much of
fish,
this.
but
Yeah,
technologically
yeah.
advanced.
So we shoot a missile at them, and then three of them like break off because the missile goes through or whatever, and then they're just following to try and catch back up with them again or whatever.
Yeah, I've definitely seen videos of crafts like separating and
I mean,
combining back together.
that would be great,
So
right?
you're
If
saying
it's
they're just having
just
fun, like going on a stroll?
well, I don't know. I don't know what their intentions are, but I think there's something behind that. Like none of these things are machines; they're just beings, and that's why there's. I mean, Area 51, all that shit. Like I don't know if I believe in any of that stuff. I don't know if they recovered an alien craft.
Lazar?
Yeah, it would make me feel a lot better if they're just like transformers. They're just literal transformers Transformers are aliens, and they're just like cruising around. I don't know what they're doing, but because if it was just beings that could shapeshift, it's like cool. We can't reverse engineer that. That's like
Yeah.
way beyond our. So yeah, go ahead and try it. It feels irresponsible of me for like an advanced race to come here and then like just leave some shit behind and go like, okay, all the superpowers you can fight over like this shit that we left behind. Like that's not helpful, right?
Yeah.
I mean, kind of like I feel like in alien folklore, it's a little bit of what you're saying, but also like in their ship design, right? Like their ships kind of regenerate, like they're alive, and a lot of like alien.
Well, yeah, it's a Battlestar Galactica thing, right?
Yeah, and that comes from, I think even Bob Lazar said it. These people that are reverse engineering were going like, "Oh, this thing's alive, and it works by you connecting to the device, but you run it by telepathy."
Before you move on, I
Go.
did want to say one more thing about the three things that come off. Is it could just be like depending on how this thing is like propelling itself or whatever. Maybe we did cut off three chunks and then that gets like caught up in like the jet wash or whatever you want to call it and just is like following behind because we don't know anything about physics.
We don't know the actual speed of the video compared to how fast it was actually going because like I said, the missile comes in pretty slow to be a missile, as opposed to like,
but because we're tracking the ship, it's like we have no concept of how fast it's going, right? I mean,
and so that was a convenient time to zoom out when those three things are following it. It zooms out, and like I said, if you watch the video on your own computer, you can see reflections of it as it turns or staying with it. So the small things turn also when they zoom out.
Yeah, it should look like they were turning into little mini ships.
But that's kind of my point. Is it could be debris
like
that just gets caught up in like however this thing flies, and now it's just like following. I don't know which one I believe in. I don't believe in anything anymore. Like it's all crazy. Like the fact that they've released this and then it's out there, it changes everything because there's nothing that can like we don't have anything that can stop one of these Hellfire. If you hit with one of these missiles, it's done. It's
and so over. In the same vein, when they released the Tic Tac video, they only showed parts of it that made sense to anybody. They didn't show it stopping and turning, So this is the equivalence of that. And it's like, holy shit.
Well, and, I can imagine that the footage of it stopping is not great because it's like you're flying in a jet, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's like stopping and making right-hand turns. So this guy, Luis Elizondo, who was part of this ATIP, definitely a big whistleblower dude. It's crazy because twice he has brought photos to talk about at like little tiny get-togethers that were fake. And one time he showed a picture of this craft and he's like, yes, I talked to the pilots who took this picture and he described what the pilots saw. And then they found this picture to be fake. And like, okay, so did you make up the story about the pilots you talked to? Or did you have the wrong picture? And so all of a sudden,
catch me up. Is this the guy who brought the video?
No. This guy, Luis Elizondo,
he's former Department of Defense, and then he started working for that aero design company.
The ATIP, the thing we're talking about, the government-funded program to the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. They were supposed to collect all the data from UAPs. This is what happened after 2023. And then in 2024, they're like, oh, you guys aren't showing us anything. So he ran that program. And that's where a lot of the whistleblowers came from because it was like, he had to talk to people that had firsthand accounts of all these UAPs.
But he's a fraud.
So he's released 2 photos that were frauds. And I'm going like, fuck, dude, did you never stop working for the Department of Defense? And you are not trolling, but like releasing information to lead us on a path of what we should be believing in, It's kind of like this. So in my world, it follows the line of like, well, this shit's been real the whole time. And they're trying to release the information slowly. Wouldn't it be great if, half the people don't believe in this shit no matter what they see or hear because they're not watching it. And then all of a sudden, if the biggest whistleblower out there is a fraud, then it's like everyone's back to not believing in this shit. And that's how I feel. That like they don't want the information out because they're too far technically advanced. They're basically already a breakaway civilization. Our military and these other, companies that make crafts and stuff.
He confirmed that he was a part of like the crash retrieval, the UAP crash retrieval program, saying that government has gone as a secret operation and been cleaning these up, and that there's definitely monitoring globally going on, this advanced technology. And he also is really funny when you watch those hearings because when he's talking to representatives, he's always like, "I'm sorry, we can talk behind closed doors."
Yeah.
A closed door meeting or whatever. I forget how he says it.
I can't say this publicly.
Yeah, he's like, I can't. But we can talk behind closed doors. I found that was the funniest thing to me because I didn't. It just sounded funny. He was like, "Oh, I'm going to tell you. I can't tell you, but I'm going to tell you secretly."
Can't say it officially, but
I can't. Well, I couldn't say it in a hearing.
I know the truth.
It's like, I can't say this in a hearing. I'll get sued.
So it's just fucking weird, man. It just throws the whole thing off for me, and it makes me think that, that maybe there's some big plan associated with how they're releasing this information. I don't know, like all this too, while this 3i Atlas coming around, like.
So I know I'm going back to that 2024 hearing, but one of the other people on the panel was the NASA person. Let me see what his name was again. Michael Gold. I liked Michael Gold's hearing from Michael Gold because his whole thing was, hey, if there really is stuff going on, and it sounds like there is, we should declassify it so that our NASA scientists and all of our colleges and universities, we can all start studying it. We can also help cure weather pattern issues and all sorts of stuff if we have this type of technology. So it should be declassified for research. So I really liked when I'm taking that hearing in, just thinking of the possibilities of why not, if there really is, whether we're making or we're self-creating this advanced technology, why not let it go ahead and
it's the right attitude to have, to be like, hey, science can't study this shit, but if you can give us something, then we can. You know, until then, science can't jump on board to the alien conversation because science should be talking about it to come up with, but you can't even come up with a hypothesis without anything physical.
Yeah, I would just love to think that you have a bunch of younger, 18 and 22-year-old college students putting in research, seeing what they can dig up and find.
What would they be researching? Just the video that is out there?
Well, I think I don't know. I wish I could find out how much stuff's being declassified, but that information, I think it's loads of it, which is why they're having these hearings.
Yeah. This dude from MUFON has material, and he's put it out to the public that if you want to research this stuff, you can, but they claim to have materials from.
I will say I can understand what people could be skeptical of all of it because it is so quiet, right? It's always no, we can't tell you this information. It's always secretive, right? But I do think it's because it got tied into Department of Defense, all of this. So it keeps it alive as a dream to me, thinking that, well, that kind of makes sense. If it is we're going to weaponize or whatever, I can see that nobody's allowed to know this except for specific people, and that's it. And the government could definitely control that. And if it was built,
let me ask you this, Adrian. Because you think they're from the ocean? Do you think that they were here first, or do you think that they came here? Do you think that Earth is their home planet?
I don't know. I don't have a good belief, or I just haven't thought hard enough to like when did it all start and how or whatever. I'm not sure, but I think it's more like it could have all, however, like I don't think we evolved from aliens or that race. But that's an interesting
Well, it's like
thought that I haven't had.
just to add to that, there definitely are ancient stories of star people,
Right,
that's where Chariots of the Gods comes from, just
right.
like reimagining biblical texts. So I'm like, there is a half-ass record of stuff happening. It's all interpretation.
Yeah, the lost city of Atlantis, that was a part of all of the crystal first aliens and everything. There's some interesting stuff, but like I said, I can't speak a lot on that because I didn't research it and study it. I just heard it from people. It is
But
always
what do you
fascinating.
just personally think though?
I do
If you had
think,
if you had to make something up, what do you think is going on with
well,
all
here's
this
the
stuff?
thing, like, and I guess that's why I'm like, well, I mean, space, don't get me wrong, is really expansive. So outside of Earth, right? So obviously, yeah, there's different life forms out there to me. I don't even think it's a question, right? I think it's like, yeah.
Right.
But when you start getting into like, is there stuff living in the ocean? People will be like, okay, you're crazy.
Yeah,
But I already think ocean creatures are crazy.
I know.
Like a shark is wild to me. The shapes of ocean creatures. Thinking though, also like how much ocean there is. How much ocean is there in the world? I should look it up.
Dude, there's animals that are luminescent and everyone's just cool with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I find those little
Yeah.
things like
That's
insane to
crazy.
me.
That's insane. It's
I
totally
find
insane. There's that ugly one that uses a light to get things to swim into his mouth, and it's like you guys aren't. That's crazy. That's weird. You're
There's
not blown
enough,
away by
there's
that.
like an octopus. There's enough strange life forms on Earth that we know of. But why are we like, oh, that's cool? Like octopus is cool.
Yeah,
But
let's go
no
look for
way, no
aliens.
way,
I
no
mean,
way, aliens.
I've been
Like,
saying this forever. Like, we need to just explore the ocean. Like, why are we
yeah,
not exploring the ocean the same way that we do space? It's nuts.
it's
I
just
know.
it's too big. Like they do. I always keep going back to my cousin because he's worked on ships his whole life, but he worked on a data research for the government where they were exploring the bottom of the ocean, but there's just no time. Like these are small projects, right? That there's no time to cover all the
Yeah,
grounds of the
but now
ocean.
we must have boat drones that we can just
Yeah,
submarine drones that we
send
can
a
just send
drone,
down and
have
go
it
like
scan
fucking
everything.
send
Like,
1,500
I'm
of them.
sure.
Just go.
I
Just
mean, I think
fucking
y'all are on the right idea. I'm sure they're doing it, but isn't there like certain depths? Because that's another part of like some of the ancient lore stuff is like the three like deepest parts of the ocean. Like, there are these giant
like
oceans. I was a fan of The Abyss, that movie back in the day, but
yeah,
the
I
bits.
get
The
The
Abyss.
Abyss.
Oh, the abyss. Yeah, sure.
It's great.
I love that movie, but
I don't know. I don't think it holds up. I tried to watch it the other day and it doesn't quite hold up. It's like pre T2, but they're using the same person, only instead of metallic, he's like see-through,
it's
and I'm like,
better than
nah.
it's better than Leviathan, but I like Leviathan.
I
Okay.
don't even know Leviathan.
Oh
Came out
man.
at the same time. Another water alien movie. Yeah, not as
But
good.
no, yeah, I'm into the movies where it goes way, way deep under the ocean. But I mean, let's keep going. Let's go into the core of the crust. Let's keep on going in there and see what's
I
down
mean,
there.
I agree. Like, we don't know how deep the ocean is. It could
We're,
just go the whole way,
Dude, we got nanobots, dude. Send the nanobots down there.
Send them all. Send them all.
you're saying it goes the whole way, like it's just total ocean. There is no core. There is
Maybe.
no ground at some point. It just
Well,
that's
it's
like a
probably
whole
like
new
a
flat
series.
Earth. It's like
It's probably a
the never
series of
ending
tubes and
ocean.
shit. Well, there is the hollow earth theory. I mean, who knows? Like, who's to say that water doesn't touch the core? Who's to say? Because how would you know?
I don't know. Yeah, and I'm like, that's where we have a similar belief in that if I really can't see it or touch it, I really don't know, you know?
Right. So, Willie, kind of wrap us up on this. I don't know how you can watch this and not sort of be like, we don't know anything. And like, they're definitely not telling us everything, right? Because it's inexplicable, this video. It's inexplicable.
This is the first thing that they've released that actually doesn't fit our science. You know, we couldn't make this.
It's not a hoax, right? Because it's coming through all the right channels.
Yeah.
Unless it's more misinformation. But at that point, I'm kind of like, well, now you're just making up weird shit that we didn't even think about. Now you're just giving like,
right. You know, if it's a hoax, it's put on by the military. So it's like,
yeah, and they
get into tricky waters.
They could plot things like that.
They could, but what would be the point? Because no one has ever been like, I think that UFOs are like made up of gelatinous things. And when you shoot them, hammer comes out. And then hammers protect the gelatinous thing. It's like no one thought of that. So this is just weird if you put this out as.
So when whatever that mission was, how many people? When was it declassified? And are the pilots already have spoken about this?
I think this is the first time anybody's seen it. Yeah, I think this is it being declassified.
I haven't heard anything about the pilots. I also had a question like, what happened to that missile? Because it kind of just like went through the thing. Did it just like land on a fucking village somewhere?
It became a part of the species.
He's just dragging it around behind him.
Let's check Yemen's internet, right? They're like, the Americans hit us with a missile. Like, nah, we weren't aiming at you. So this last congressional hearing, the three main goals they had.
The missile went on to kill a fucking Cuban drug boat or whoever. Who are we fighting now? Puerto Rico? Who the fuck are we fighting? We're like just blowing up boats of theirs
with fake like alien videos. We're just sending.
No, I'm just making it.
It's like our thing. We're like, that's what the government's doing. They're like, oh, there's an alien. They're just firing out missiles towards like somebody they want to take.
And then it's landing on alleged drug boats. Sorry, we hit another drug boat.
Here, we'll send you the video. This is legitimate shit. So the three main goals of this last hearing, and probably the other ones also, is to fund independent research and treat UAPs seriously, which is great. End secrecy and overclassification, and to protect witnesses. If those three things happen, which, I think at this point, Congress is getting closer and closer to be like, yeah, we should do these things.
I mean, I felt the energy a year ago and then it just went silent, man. I was really feeling it. And then just.
Well, the all you need is $100,000 to buy off a fucking Congress, man. Like they don't.
I know, dude. Fuck. If we could get Roundup to jump in on the UAP research, it'd already be done.
I just feel
Roundup the Monsanto people?
yeah. We get Monsanto on board.
But it really, what they're coming at the angle that's like, if it's a threat to airspace, it's a threat to civilians. So they're trying to that's their main thing they're going after to try to spook the government to release it.
For you to back that, you would have to believe that they give a shit about the civilians, right? And they clearly don't.
Yeah, and again, if it is a true Department of Defense thing, they would be like, well, no, you guys, civilians, y'all don't know this is bigger than everyone.
Well, that's the whole point.
Like, y'all can't know.
Well, Willie, what are you going to say? Because I was just going to be mean again.
I was going to say, this is why I'm waiting for this to happen, a UAP to hit a commercial plane. And all of a sudden, okay, this is a threat. We can't have these things in airspace.
But that won't happen, right?
I think it's already could have happened. Some of these planes just go missing.
I mean, yeah, we talked.
Where did it go?
Yeah, we talked not too long ago about that plane that nobody knows where it went. It maybe just got sucked up into a UAP and now it's in fucking Mars or whatever.
In the ocean too.
Yeah, or just somewhere in the ocean, since we refuse to look around in the ocean.
The last thing I have to say is, if any government entity, military entity is like holding back the information that other non-human entities are here, I feel like it's actually like trumping our spiritual evolution. I feel like as soon as we find out there's an intelligent creature smarter than us, it might help all of a sudden I feel like ESP and telepathy and all these things are back on the table. Be like, this could be real, man. These guys are smart. Look at
you couldn't be more misguided. You could not be more misguided. Like, just watch a nerd try to talk to some jocks. It's not gonna. Nerds learned very early to just avoid the meatheads, or they would just get beat up. Like, they're not gonna come talk to us.
Yeah.
Not that we could hurt them, but it's just like,
I know. They've seen us do everything.
I'm gonna go play D&D over here, and you guys can play football, and let's just agree that we don't get along.
But picture the hippie version of aliens being real, where it's like, okay, I'm gathering up 1 million people to try to find an alien and talk to them. So I'm getting these, whatever, the billionaire version, but like, we're going to go to these hot spots and try to communicate with them. Like, if everyone believed in them, we have a better chance of communication.
I do agree that how has it been this covered up? Regardless, like, if there is stuff coming from somewhere, how would it not have landed at like the Super Bowl or something? That some event where everybody, like, tons
the
of
Super
people
Bowl,
call it,
because the Super Bowl is the biggest representation of our bloodlust that there is. Like, all we care about is money and violence, and so they're not going to show up at the Super Bowl and be like, "Hey, everyone, be cool, get them." Whoa, you're not smarter than us.
I mean, that's my only. It's like, come on, it couldn't always just be on a farm, like in the woods where they're landing. like, wow.
Listen, but you can
or
also
in the ocean,
just like
the ocean or the woods.
Yeah, I don't really believe any of the stuff up until this thing. Like, I don't believe that they're like taking cows and turning them inside out, and I don't believe that they're abducting people and like probing them. This is the first thing that I've seen where I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this I would like an explanation for this.
Yeah.
The rest I don't really care about. The rest is like a stick a fucking black cat in a cow's asshole. Like,
it's pretty exciting, man.
Once you said probing, it made me think of my other favorite movie, which is Fire in the Sky. That's a really old movie. Y'all should watch it if you haven't seen it. But
we've seen it.
It is freaky to me. I was young when I saw it.
Right. It's a great sort of like, there's no real stakes or anything. It's just kind of like this guy gets abducted. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Hollywood made it all the alien shit in it is not what happened. That's the Hollywood version. If you read Travis's book, it's just like,
okay, see, I didn't even go that far.
All that shit, all the scary stuff didn't happen.
I might need to read that book. Be next on the list.
Well, it sounds like a snooze fest if all the interesting things didn't happen.
You're saying you didn't get probed. I guess I'm spoiling, but
he thought his take is that when the craft lit up or whatever it did, that the radiation was going to kill him, so they took him on board to save him. That's what he thinks.
Wow, that would have made a good movie too. Why did they cancel that part out?
That was very scary. It was very.
But I guess it's the opposite context. We always want aliens to be like the villain and like probing.
I mean, it was a horror movie that had a court, mixed with of mice and men. It's just like.
Yep, and the old, like I'm saying, the woods abduction. There's a lot of those.
All right, so let's wrap it up. So tell us about your music. What kind of music is it? Like, if you go to crommusic.com, because you're talking a lot about like doing scores and stuff. Do you do like any just kind of like popular, like what is it? What is it?
So I guess it's kind of two different things where I am scoring film and TV stuff, but it's been kind of across the board, like film score work. I worked on From Dusk Till Dawn TV show with Carl Thiel as Rodriguez. It's a spinoff of the original From Dusk Till Dawn. 2 seasons of that, I was just doing assistant composer work, but I was working on like episodes ahead of Carl and
radical getting
the music ready, but seeing like getting his music. It wasn't too creative. I wasn't writing a lot of music. I was getting his music ready to be reused in a creative way. It was still really fun and creative, and trying to get it, preparing the stems, still very technical, using Pro Tools. But I gotta do spotting sessions, see like what it's like working. The showrunner of that was the showrunner for a 24, that TV show. So really great, like people to work with. That was really fun. And then I did a bunch of music for ESPN that was wildly different than that. And it was like, hey, make some beats, like make some electronic beats. One of them was like, can you make us some like Kanye West, but like meets like spaghetti Western? And I was like, okay.
Okay, yeah, I'll just do two genius musicians and mix them together.
There you go. And what else do you need?
Yeah, it was like Morricone was like one of the references. Like, oh my gosh, it's like Good, Bad, and Ugly, all that stuff.
Just a legendary composer.
Kanye West twist. So
right,
you see a bunch of really eclectic projects that you can get thrown on. So I did 4 albums with them, which those are great because they pay a lot of money and then they just own it. There's no more money to see or how it's even used. It doesn't even matter to me. It's just ESPN owns it,
But I'm on your website and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got like a bunch of releases. Are these songs?
So that's a whole different thing. That's just like my artist music is what I consider that, which I'm glad.
Yeah, that's what you should be talking about right now. No one cares about your score work. You want people to check out your music and buy your merch, right? So tell us about this shit.
For sure. But yeah, so that's just kind of like, I guess, like minimalist electronic dark wave. I don't really find it like necessarily dark wave because that's I find it like just a cinematic sound because I like film score stuff, but with electronic beat production, whatever the genre is. I know everybody has to fit it in a genre, but I like Bjork. I like artists like that.
What'd you think of the Drive? What'd you think of the Drive soundtrack? Is it kind of like that?
Oh, I love that soundtrack. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, so, are you into? I don't know.
Italians do it better. The whole label.
I don't know. I don't really know what dark wave is. Is it just vaporwave with a nefarious tone or something? Do you use minor keys when it's dark wave or something?
But it can kind of cross into like synth wavy too at this point in time, right?
And all that shit's like pretty big right now, so that's cool, man.
And I liked it. I mean, I've always been into that. Like Dylan Cameron worked with me on that Belladonna album I made, but there's been a big thing in Austin for a long time where people are just into like real synthesizers. So I'm just in my apartment, but I have like a music studio set up that I have all my gear at, but it is a part of like when I'm trying to write music, it's not just digital or in the computer. It's using like I have a Korg monopoly, Juno 106, like using certain keyboards that a lot of them just built in the 80s have a certain sound to it that you can't make digitally.
Yeah.
Even if we are bringing it into the computers to then work with it, but
right, yeah, it
still sounds volatile.
It's like, kind of it's like a digital analog. It's like a pre-digital digital.
Yeah, so I put a lot of time into the albums when I'm doing the music. I put a lot of work into them. That's why I don't release a lot of music because I'll spend 3 years. I did a lot of instrumental music that's on Spotify that has no followers. That's just under my full name.
See, this is what I'm getting at. You got to point people. I'm listening to your stuff right now. You have to point people. You have to go it's Croom. It's Croom. I'm on Spotify. I'm on Apple Music. I've got there's like 10 tracks, 11 tracks on this one album. There's like fucking. These are my playlists, but all I'm saying is like point people to Spotify.
It's Croom Music, so it's my last name, Croom, and then music. But if you do the that's where I'm at on Instagram at Croom Music, croommusic.com. It'll lead everywhere. I guess Spotify is where everybody's trying to get followers to go to, or Apple Music?
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, I don't know how to make money as a musician these days, but like,
yeah.
I think look it up on Spotify, listen to it, and then if you like
Yeah,
it,
so
go
if you
buy a
look up
t-shirt.
on Spotify, you type in Croom and then probably need to type in Belladonna, Belladonna, the nightshade.
It's all from your website.
Yeah.
Just go to croommusic.com and you can find the links there. And I like it. It's like it reminds me of like Massive Attack. Is that a
Oh,
good
that's cool. Yeah. Yeah. I like that a lot.
Okay. All
That's
right.
trip hop. But trip hop, I fit in that world, I think. I like that.
Yeah. Well, thanks, man, for donating your time, and you gotta go, right? So you're not gonna do the
Yeah.
bonus episode, but
What is
we
bonus
appreciate you.
episode?
Oh, we just fuck around. It's just
Okay.
this.
It's just shooting the shit for like an hour off topic.
It's great. It's really good. And if you're not a Patreon subscriber, go to patreon.com/RealLifeSciFi for access to that.
Dang.
It's probably the best work we do. It's once we get like 4 drinks into us and then smoke weed, we get really entertaining and not at all like too drunk or too confusing. We don't follow weird fucking trains of thoughts that lead to nowhere. It's all good. But anyway, man, it was nice talking to you, and thank you so much.
Thank y'all for having me.
Good to see you.
Yeah,
Man.
I'll definitely come back around if you need someone next year or whenever. After UAP here, and you gotta hit me up.
Yeah, we'll do the yearly
I'll watch
UAP.
the next one. I'll watch the real one that we were supposed to be talking about.
Well, thank you for being here. Thank you everyone for listening. And remember, just because you're paranoid, don't mean they not after you. So watch it back.
Ooh.
Bye.
Peace.
RealLifeSciFi.